Buying a vintage Omega watch is without a doubt the best possible way to buy luxury timepieces on a slim budget, with some models costing as little as $300 to $400. In this video, I will show you a simple and essential 5-step process to check if that Omega watch is a good deal or an authentic piece. There are countless issues and problems that can arise if you don't do your proper research and not follow the process I will show you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into the process, it must be mentioned where the best places are to buy vintage Omegas from. The best deals will be on the second-hand market like eBay, Chrono24 and other online marketplaces, but these can also be the most risky. The more expensive and trustworthy are from the vintage watch stores and specialist vintage Omega dealers. It's more likely that Omega from eBay or Chrono24 may be counterfeit, so majority of this video is aimed for buying off these second-hand marketplaces. The very first step is to check the buyer, as no matter how good or bad the watch is, if the seller is untrustworthy or has a negative reputation, you would get bad customer service and probably may be scammed or not even receive the watch at all. This is why you must check the seller's history. This can be done, for example, on eBay by looking at the seller's profile and the amount of negative reviews. If they haven't had a bad review in more than 6 months, I would trust this buyer, even if their rating is not 100%. For example, this seller only has one bad review from 6 months ago and has a 98.7% rating, which is fine. Ideally, you want a seller that has 100%, but someone like this seller would also be trustworthy. The next step is to identify the Omega's reference number and what model it is. If it does not say in the description, usually the seller will provide a picture that has the reference number on the inside of the case back. If they don't, either message the seller for the picture or don't bother buying it. Once you have the reference number, type it into Google and look for images of the same watch. You should compare the other photos with the watch for sale to see if there are any huge differences or irregularities. For example, the hour markers, logo or dial may be different. Make sure you look really closely. If the watch on the market looks the same as the other photos, it is a good sign that it is an authentic Omega watch. However, even if the watch is a legitimate model, it may be a Franken watch or have aftermarket fake parts. This is what step 3 entails, which is to check if there are any non-original parts on the piece. A big one is if the dial has been swapped or is not original. If the dial has a good amount of patina and looks truly aged, this is fine, but if it looks suspiciously in good condition and almost even brand new condition, this is an alarm that the dial was either replaced or not original. It may also be repainted, but this doesn't mean it still isn't original, as it could have been serviced by a watchmaker. Additionally, if the lume on the hands and hour markers look brand new, it may not be legitimate and original. Also, a crucial step is to inspect the movement and to check if there is any rust or aftermarket parts. If the seller doesn't provide any pictures of the movement, this may not be a good sign, as it may be faulty or in poor condition. Because if you get the watch and it stops working after a week, I think you've been scammed. The fourth step is to ask questions towards the seller regarding the specification of the watch and any possible problems. A good seller will give you extensive facts and will be well informed. However, a bad seller will be very blunt and short in their answers. And if you ask any hard-hitting questions, if they don't respond or give a vague answer, it's possible they don't know anything about the watch or if it is legitimate, and they may even be trying to scam you. Once you have justified that the Omega is authentic and in good condition, you must look at the price. If it is too expensive for you, well, don't buy it. But if it is in that grey zone where you don't know the true value or if it's worth the price, compare the watch to others within the market to see if it is a fair price. Once you have compared it and it matches up, you should go ahead and purchase that Omega and enter the world of vintage and luxury timepieces. Entering the world of vintage watches is amazing, as I picked up this vintage Zenith Manuine Sporto for under $500 and is an absolute beauty. If you are a big Omega fan and enjoy their timepieces, Click the videos on the screen right now to see more Omega related content from me. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe immediately. Thank you for watching and see you later.